Well, hello. It's get that watch. It's coming up to midnight on November the 30th. I just thought I would wait until it was actually turning into the Christmas period because December is Christmas, and anyone starting to celebrate before then, oh no, needs to be December. I mean, that's why Advent calendars start in December. So we are, oh, hold on, hang on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's midnight. Yay. It is now the start of the Christmas period, at least as far as I'm concerned anyway. Anyone celebrating, doing anything before December. Then again, I was out earlier and I saw this neighbour's house all done up with lights, and I was torn between really nice, bravo man, bravo, or woman, whichever, I don't know which one put it up, and I was torn between that and still November, but I'm going to go with bravo because I do like a nicely lit house. Anyway, it is December and therefore the start of the Christmas period. I am, as you can see, I am in my dressing gown here because, of course, it's midnight. Well, a bit past now, and so I'm ready for bed, but I just thought I'll do this first. So I thought I would do the first video on the modern Christmas. Now, it's quite different, the modern Christmas, from how we did it for most of the history. Either the history one, Christ was actually known, after whom Christmas is named, and even before it, we used to have celebrations that were not obviously Christmas, but still came at this sort of time of year. Now, when I say modern, you would probably think modern was the last just few years. In history, modern is, in this particular case, 200 years. Now, if you can't get a feel for how long 200 is, you're pretty much 9. And if we just say you're 10, because it's easier to work out the maths, 200 years is 20 times your lifetime. That's 20 of you. 20 of you. A room with 20 of you. All it makes me want to do when I think of 20 of you in a room is, oh, just don't mention that to your mum or your dad because, oh, that might upset them thinking of 20 of you. Oh, it makes me feel quite unwell now. I wish I hadn't said that. Still, 20 of you ago, that's when this all started. Now, we did already have certain Christmas things that we did, and one of them was very much the ivy and holly being brought in from the woods because they were the only things that were still green, and they were trying to bring a bit of life into their world because, of course, over winter everything looks dead, and they could struggle without food. You didn't have it all shipped in from all over the world. It was what you grew or what you could find that lived nearby. So the holly and the ivy, get the ivy, were both lovely and green, and they would make nice wreaths out of them, you know, nice little circular things. Little circular thing of that. Oh, there we go. And in fact, we have the carol, The Holly and the Ivy. The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. And that was actually written a couple of hundred years before what I'm about to tell you. A couple of hundred years. That is another 20 of you. That's 40 of you ago. That's how long ago that was written. And of course, it's not that that was anything new. That was what they used to do. Holly and the ivy, they'd make wreaths and have it just over their fireplaces and everything. But the modern Christmas, the one you'd really recognise, as in Christmas tree. Where are we? Almost forgot. I've got some nice, hey, bits of Christmas tree. There we go. Bits of Christmas tree, and the presents and the baubles and all of that stuff. That all came from more or less 200 years ago. And what happened was we got a Queen Victoria then, and she got married to a man called Albert. So it's Queen Victoria and her husband Albert, and he came from Germany. Now, she loved him so much that she decided to start celebrating in the way that the Germans did. And that is how our Christmas came. So, this, Victoria and Albert, this is how I see it. This is how I think it went. You've got Queen Victoria with her lovely crown and her adored husband with his little medal, Albert. Hello. Queen Victoria. Oh, hello, my darlings. So this is how I think it went. Hello, my darling. I really, really love you. And I just want to make you as comfortable as possible. And he goes, oh, my darling, I really, really love you too. And I love being here with you. The only thing is, I do think I will really, really miss the way we celebrate Christmas in Germany. Oh, darling, if you're going to miss it that much, why don't we have Christmas here just like you do? It's great fun, and I think the 10 children we're going to have will really, really love it. Oh, thank you, my darling. I really, really do love you. Although I do think that 10 children will be a little bit too many. Why don't we just have 9? And that is how I think it went. But basically, that's what happened. And yes, they did have 9 children. So when I talk about having a load of you in the room, they had 9 of them. 9 kids. Can you imagine the noise and the mess with 9 children? Yeah. Anyway, what they did was they brought in the big Christmas tree, and they brought in baubles, and they put candles on the trees, and what you might think is the most important thing is they brought in presents. And how that's different is, what used to happen was people would just basically have a feast, just have a lovely meal with all the people they liked and had fun that way. It was the Victorians, Queen Victoria, people from that time are called Victorians. They went for the whole present thing. Now, her lovely and well adored, she did absolutely adore her husband. Her husband Albert was not the first German. Her granddad was married to a German woman, so King George III was married to Queen Charlotte, and they would have done something probably fairly similar. But the difference is that someone made a drawing, and I say made a drawing because they didn't have the photographs back then, made a drawing of their Christmas tree. It had all the presents underneath and the children around and the family around, and that was seen by the public. Now, you know what it's like with all the famous people. You get yourself a nice famous singer, they do something, it's all over the news, everyone thinks, oh, like that, oh, I think I might do that, and off we go. And that's what happened with Queen Victoria, and that's how come she was the one who ultimately made the Christmas that we know today. And they brought in the trees, fir trees, because it looked like fur. Quite interesting, isn't it, the way it looks like fur? But the really interesting thing is fir trees are not natural to our land. We're a little island. We had a fairly limited set of plants and that, because there was all the water in between, so things didn't pass over. So fir trees were actually introduced by actually her granddad, well, not actually the granddad, by granddad's German wife, Queen Charlotte. She brought in the first fir trees, and by the time Elizabeth, that's our last queen, isn't it? Sorry, Queen Victoria. By the time Queen Victoria came, it had been 40, 50 years, something like that. So there'd been time for them to start sort of picking up. And so they actually brought the trees to our land, not just the usage of them as Christmas trees, but they brought the trees themselves. It's amazing how things can change, because you just think of Christmas trees as being, part of everything, don't you? What also came, which you will recognise, is a Christmas card. Now, you will have had a Christmas card, and I believe it has a little carol in it. And when I say carol, it's actually a song that the badgers sing. So whereas it should be deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, it's all about them. So no, Phil, no, don't sit on the holly, don't sit. Yeah, he just sat on the holly. I'm gonna have to stick a blinking plaster on his bum, aren't I? I thought I'd go to bed after this. Looks like I'm going to have to give him some hospital treatment. But the cards, cards were something that were already done. It wasn't new then, but what it was is the whole system of postage and postal system was made much more accessible. So, Christmas, modern Christmas, that's how it all started. So, happy start to the Christmas period. I'll see you later.